Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We just moved into a new house and I decided to make the whole house a smart house. I'm going to be making a series about all the cool smart home tech that I've installed in the house. So this is the first in the series. It's going to be about the FancyLED 2.1 HDMI sync box. So almost a year ago, I bought the Hisense 98-inch TV, which is a really nice TV. I'm really enjoying it. But when we moved from our old place to our new place, I realized that none of the walls around me are made of concrete. They're all gypsum. And a gypsum wall just wouldn't hold the weight of a 98-inch TV. It's almost like 50 kgs. So then I decided to build a custom TV wall unit. Since I was building something custom, I decided to also upgrade the TV's backlight system. It not only looks cool and gives a nice aesthetic to the room and the space, but also syncs with the content on the screen when I'm playing video games like on my PS5 or Xbox, or watching TV on my Apple TV 4K. Image kind of expands around the TV. It gives a really cool effect. One of the reasons I went for the FancyLED system is because of the quality of the lights on it. So you get 96 LEDs per meter actually, which is extremely high. So if you look at the back of the strip, you'll see how close together the LEDs are. I have a full range of white light from daylight to warm light. So the color range of the LEDs, the fact that they're so close together and there's so many of them, allows it to have a lot more precision and quality when you're actually doing some of these effects. And the FancyLED system is not cheap. I was tempted to get the Philips Hue system since all the other lighting in my house is Philips Hue. But just the fact that their kit is so expensive and the way that it functions, it doesn't cover the bottom of the TV. You have to buy a separate device to do that again. So it was working out to almost 3 times as much. Now, one of the things that happened is that my TV is a 98-inch and these LED kits don't come in a size bigger than 95-inch. Ideally, you should be putting the LEDs right on the border of the display. But since my TV is a little bit bigger than 95 inches, I had to leave about 1.5 inches away from the edge of the TV so that I could cover the entire TV and still have the LEDs placed accurately around the TV. Now, one of the great things about this system is that it comes with an HDMI switcher, and most TVs these days don't come with more than 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, and one of those ports is usually an eARC port, which you connect your soundbar to or your sound system to. And so you're only left with really one HDMI 2.1 port. And that was a problem for me because I have both my PS5 and my Xbox Series X connected to it. Plus I have the Apple TV 4K, which also supports HDMI 2.1. So I could connect all 3 HDMI 2.1 devices into the sync box, and the outgoing HDMI port from the sync box going to the HDMI 2.1 port on the TV. Finally, everything was set up, we synced it up, and the effect is honestly quite mind-blowing. The LEDs are bright, they're pretty color accurate. I wouldn't say they're the best at rendering skin tones and things in the LED backlight. Skin tones turn red for some reason. Overall, the immersion that you get, the additional feeling that, okay, there's something happening around the TV, and especially when you have effects like, say, a police car is going by with red and blue flashing lights or something like that. The system is intelligent enough to expand those lights into the surrounding. So that looks really cool. Even things like when you're just like browsing through the Apple TV user interface, you know, just the icons kind of emit a glow around the TV, which looks really cool. But not everything has been great about this system. One thing I would say is the app is very limited, and it does claim to be connected to Alexa, but you can only turn on and off the light and change the color of the light using Alexa. You can't switch sources, and that is one annoying thing about this system, is that you have to go into the app to change sources. So if I'm not at home and somebody doesn't have the app with them, they can't really switch between sources, which is super annoying. I wish FancyLED would fix this, either by giving you a physical remote or allowing you to control it via one of your voice services like Alexa, for example, and just say switch to Xbox. And that would actually be the best solution. So this HDMI sync box doesn't have eARC passthrough, which means that when you're sending a high quality digital audio signal, the signal does pass. Like from my Apple TV, for example, I am getting Dolby Atmos sound coming into my soundbar. But when the Xbox looks at the system and the kind of HDMI port that's connected to it, it doesn't detect that it's capable of doing eARC and sometimes disables some of the options that I have, like bitstream audio, for example. And it just won't detect that the system has that capability, even though the sound does pass. And these are high-speed HDMI ports. The other thing that I wish it had was HDMI C control directly for each device. And so, for example, what I mean is, say I have these three devices, my Apple TV, the PS5, and the Xbox connected. Now, if I turn on my Apple TV, it does switch on the TV, but only when the source on my app is selected as Apple TV. What I wish it would do instead was that when I turned on my Xbox, it automatically detected that my Xbox is now on and switched from the Apple TV to the Xbox, just like my TV does. I think it's something that they could add with a firmware update, and that would be super useful. Now, the last thing I would say is the app does have some interesting auxiliary features apart from the TV viewing experience. Ability to turn on like rainbow mode or light effects and things when the TV is off. So what happens there is it just creates a cool ambience in the room if nobody's watching TV, but you're having like a party or something or a get together and you want some cool effects around your TV. It can totally do that. It also has like a sound based mode. There's a small mic in the system that picks up the sound and adjusts the lights around the TV accordingly, which is also cool. But the app is extremely limited. The kind of effects that you have are very limited. I know that the LED system is capable of a lot more because I see it doing really cool stuff when I'm watching TV. But none of the modes on the app actually reflect that level of quality of the light, as well as the speed at which the lights can change. If I had to do it again, I would probably go for a system that has a remote control. The fact that I have to dig deeper into my app just to change sources is a pain, and the fact that I'm the only person in the house with the app. This LED system doesn't work with any of the inbuilt apps on the TV which you have. So if you do plan to utilize this, make sure you have a streaming box like a Apple TV or a Roku or something that has a HDMI input so that you can run that signal through the sync box to get your synchronized light working well. Anyway guys, that's it for my review of the FancyLED system. I enjoy the system. It's definitely added a lot to the aesthetic appeal of my house. I'm going to leave a link down below to the Amazon link if you guys want to pick it up. And if you guys like this video, hit that like button, leave me a comment, subscribe to watch more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next one.